Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name's Kenna and I make videos every Saturday. If you would like to join me as I embark on my life and trying to figure it out, subscribe. Would love to have you here. And today's video is just going to be hopefully a quick update with everything that's going on. I tend to talk a lot and explain things too in depth, so we'll see how quick I can make this. But a lot has happened since my last video, so I just wanted to explain everything that's going on before I move forward with other videos on my channel. But basically, if you're new to my channel, I have a history of gastroparesis. Long history. There's a whole playlist on my channel that has videos about it. But in February, I feel like it's almost been a year. I honestly don't even know. I know I had surgery, has it been a year? Okay, I just checked. And it's kind of ironic, but today is February 18th. So the day that I'm filming this was actually the day 1 year ago that I was getting my G-pump surgery. And now I'm here. And the surgery, I'm so glad I did it though, because it gave me my life back for a couple months and it was awesome. And I was able to enjoy food and enjoy life and do whatever I wanted. And it was awesome. It was amazing to have energy and to eat what I want and to work out and just do life like everybody else. So I'm so glad that I did have that opportunity. I just didn't expect to be back where I am today, but I got sidetracked already. What I was saying is I have a history of gastroparesis, had that surgery and was okay, at least I thought. But then I guess in the summer my symptoms slowly started to get worse, but they were kind of just mild and it was mostly just bloating and fullness. It wasn't anything like nausea yet, lack of appetite, any of that. I was still able to eat enough. I was maintaining my weight. I was still able to do all of that and able to eat enough. So it was nothing that I was too concerned about. Tried different medications and then did different tests and then eventually it just continued to get worse. But then I was still kind of okay. So I was in this middle ground where I was sick, but I was able to do things. So I got a nursing job, which was a dream. I worked as a pediatric nurse at a really nice hospital and I started my job as a new grad nurse there and it was amazing and I loved every single second of it and I learned so much and it really pushed me. And I talked about in my videos how much kind of anxiety and how scary it was to go into it, but when I was there I loved it so much and it was just, I don't know, it was amazing and scary and exciting all at the same time, and so glad that I had that opportunity. But then, like I said, things over time just got worse. So with the 2 months that I worked as a nurse, over those 2 months too, the same pattern that I've had to continue to get worse. And while going to work and everything, on my days off, my 4 days off, I pretty much just rested all day because I didn't have much energy. And I also got more tests, so I got a repeat gastric emptying scan, which showed a delay. Not too crazy of a delay, but it did show a delay still. I got a manometry, an aortic manometry done, and that showed some mild spasms or something. I don't know, I personally didn't see the report, but it was nothing to be too concerned about. And my doctors wanted me to do a smart pill again, but that wasn't covered by my insurance, so I didn't get it. And basically I was having kind of these awful symptoms and we didn't really know where it was coming from, what was happening, and I was trying pretty much every single medication. I swear I went through all of them. Nothing seemed to be helping, which was kind of frustrating because it's okay, we don't know exactly why my symptoms are so severe and why no medications are helping, and then you start to get in your head thinking what is happening. I went to the mindset of where I was before I got diagnosed. I was maybe I'm exaggerating this, maybe it's not as bad as it seems. Just go eat and you'll be fine. Don't overthink it, just eat and you'll be okay. And clearly I was not. Every time I ate I felt awful and I couldn't eat and it was bad. But then eventually I went in to go see my doctor. I don't remember which day, but shortly before I was admitted, went to go see my doctor and she was concerned about me. And the next step that we wanted to do was an endoscopy and colonoscopy just to make sure that looked okay. And we had that scheduled for February 23rd, outpatient. But then she was kind of concerned about me, so she wanted to admit me. And when I was at the doctor, I was I'm gonna do my best to do it outpatient because I wanted to work. I really just wanted to work and I wanted everything to be okay. I wanted to still be able to work and I wanted to beat this illness all at the same time. But then it got to the point where it's too bad where we made the decision to admit me to the hospital, and it was kind of just do the endoscopy and colonoscopy urgently rather than waiting for outpatient and see what it showed. Really didn't expect much to come out of the hospitalization, but I was admitted and then we did the endoscopy and colonoscopy and everything looked normal, which I kind of expected because one of my symptoms, thank goodness, is I don't get abdominal pain or like pain in my intestines at all. It's more like fullness, like bloating, like I don't know, the best way I can describe it is like either a bowling ball in my stomach or someone filled up a balloon with air, and that's how it feels in my stomach. And like, you know how when you eat Thanksgiving dinner and you eat like way too much and you feel like so bad, that's how I felt all the time, even if it was just a smoothie or any liquids. Like that's just how I felt all the time. But I never had like sharp stabbing pain, so I really didn't think the endoscopy or colonoscopy was going to show anything, which it didn't. And at this point, like my doctor was just confused because she didn't know what to do at this point, because she didn't know like what the issue was. And we were like kind of deciding like, should we send me home? But I just was kind of scared because then I would go back to the same state I was in before, not being able to eat, losing weight, being exhausted. And then we decided, okay, let's do one more test. And it was a CT scan with oral contrast, and they did IV contrast too. Sorry, I'm out of breath, which I have never done before. So that night, I think, that she told me that, I don't know, it's kind of confusing. I lost track of time, but I did vlog like certain days, certain parts of the hospital. It's kind of a mess, but the timeline will make sense in that video. But I did a CT and I had to drink a lot of contrast. Like it tasted fine, but it was a lot. And they did the CT and they did the IV contrast too, which, oh my god, the IV contrast, I didn't like that. I literally thought I peed myself. I didn't, but it felt like it. And then the next morning I got the results and it showed that my stomach was extremely distended. It was holding all of that in there. And like what happens is you drink the contrast and you drink it like a certain amount, like every 15 minutes, and then I think it's about an hour to an hour and a half that you do that, and then they scan you. So like it gives you time for the contrast to kind of go through you. And when they did my CT, my stomach was so distended, like extremely distended, and it was full of like air and fluid. I don't know, but it was just distended. And at that point, kind of my doctors were like confused because when my GI was doing the endoscopy and colonoscopy, she saw my pylorus, which the G-pump surgery kind of opens up pylorus. And she saw my pylorus and said it was wide open. Like it was beautiful, wide open, things should just be passing through. And then, but she did Botox my pylorus just in case. For some reason it wasn't, and it just happened to be fine. So she said when she was in there, it was wide open and she Botoxed it. And I had the CT with contrast after the endoscopy with the Botox with my pylorus wide open. So theoretically, the contrast should just go right through, right? Well, it didn't. And they said that it seems like my stomach is acting like there's an obstruction, but there's no obstruction to be found. So it's just acting like there's an obstruction. So my pylorus is wide open, but things aren't going through it. Like it's all just sitting in my stomach. And we have no idea why it's happening and what the deal is. Like, why is it not working? So at that point, my doctors made the decision to put in a feeding tube because we tried all the medications. My Botox. My pylorus looks fine. It was Botoxed and it's wide open. Food should be going through, but for some reason it's not. And we can't figure out why it's not going through and why I'm not able to eat and like all of that. Like we can't figure it out. And I guess like my small intestine and colon motility are still up in the air because we can't get the smart pill done. So I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns right now, and that's what's frustrating because it's like, when am I gonna get better? Am I gonna get better? What is happening? What is going on? When am I gonna stop feeling like this? But yeah, so that point, I wanted to do the feeding tube. And then the surgery was delayed a little bit because IR, which is interventional radiology, which is who places my feeding tube, didn't want to operate on me because of how distended my stomach was. They said like trying to place a feeding tube with that wasn't gonna work. So they had to do a NG tube, but not like for feeding. It's for decompression. So we had to get that placed, but 4 people tried. No, I think 2 people tried, and they each tried twice in each nostril. But my nostrils are like really small, and I feel like I have a partially deviated symptom. I think my ENT once told me that, so it didn't work. It was kind of traumatizing to try to get that shoved down 4 times, but they couldn't get it, and we thought we were gonna be fine. And my doctor talked to IR, but they were like, no, we're not operating. So then my doctor, not my GI, just like the hospitalist, came by and was like, okay, we have to insert it, and he said he was gonna do it. I was like, okay, whatever. And he was able to do it, and it was so easy. Like, I don't know what happened the other 4 times, but the 5th time it was like super easy to go down. It was fine, and then it suctioned out a whole bunch of stuff. It was nasty. I would include a picture, but I think people get grossed out by stomach contents, so it was gross. I mean, in my other video I showed it in the tube, which is not as gross, but like I have a picture of it all sitting in the canister, and it was, oh, disgusting. So then I had the tube for like a little bit, and then after that I was able to get the surgery, and now I have the feeding tube. And because of all this happening, in a sense, I made the decision to quit my job, which sucks because I just started, and why I decided to quit instead of explore options for a leave of absence is because I really have no idea what is happening, how long this is going to last, when I'm going to feel okay again, when I would be able to work a full nursing schedule, and all of that. There's just way too many unknowns. And like I said, I just started, but my job has been so just supportive. Like, my manager was amazing, and one thing that I really liked about my job was the people there. And I've never really, I guess, expected my first job at a hospital to have pretty much every single nurse and person I interacted with in that hospital be so nice and so supportive, and to always help you no matter what, without any like exceptions. Like, that's something that I was really impressed with my hospital, is that everyone was like just so nice, so supportive, always making sure everyone is okay, always helping each other. So it made me less nervous talking to my manager about that. But at this point, like I said, I don't have a job. Now I have, let me show you this little thing. Oh, it's hot in here because I'm nervous. Yeah, this little thing. So it's a GJ feeding tube. So that means I get fed through the J part, which is in my intestine. And I can use the G tube to kind of like vent if I need to, which means I kind of empty out my stomach contents. But I try not to because I want to keep my stomach somewhat working. But sometimes I had to because I just felt so nauseous. But other times I'm just really trying to keep eating some very tiny amounts of liquids by mouth because I want to keep my stomach working, because I want to get out of this. But yeah, so for now I have this thing, and it hurts a lot. It's a lot better. Coming out of surgery though, I did not expect it to hurt that bad. I like to toot my own horn and think that I have a high pain tolerance, but oh my god, like, that hurts so bad. Like, at one point I had to get up to go to the bathroom after the surgery, and I came back to lay down and I was screaming and crying because it hurt so bad. But it's better, it gets better every day, but it still hurts. I can't really do any activity. Like I said, I'm getting out of breath from talking because even that is a lot for me. And yeah, so right now my life is recovering from surgery, and I don't know what my life is right now. So essentially it's just me trying to figure out my life and my health and everything. It's a lot to adjust to. A lot of things happened at one time. A lot of unexpected things happened, and I don't know. It's just a lot, like I said, to adjust. And I'm learning. It's also weird now being home from the hospital. I've been home for like 2 days now. It's weird because when I'm home from the hospital, I feel like I should be better, right? Like, I feel like I'm at home, I should be able to do anything that I can do, but I can't. I can barely do anything. Yesterday I could not like do anything at all because I was just so physically like exhausted and worn out, because like I lost even more weight in the hospital. I ended up losing, I think, 17 pounds. I think I lost about 17 pounds, which is, I mean, it's kind of a lot. I don't know, I feel like on my body it's a lot, but my body's having a hard time to adjust to that because it's very fatigued, very tired. So any activity really exhausts me at this point. And you know me, I'm a very go type of person. I want to be productive, I want to do things, I want to get things done, and it's hard for me to be like completely wiped out and not able to do that. It's frustrating, but I'm taking it easy. I wanted to film this yesterday, but I couldn't, so I waited to do it today when I feel a little bit better. Yay, bonus points for me. But I feel like I forgot to say a lot of things. Probably did, but essentially to sum up this long story is life update. I no longer have a job and I have a feeding tube. That's my life update. So my channel right now it's just gonna be me figuring out my life and navigating life through life changes with a chronic illness and stuff. Yeah, so if you want to join me for some reason, subscribe. I would love to have you here. I'd love to build a little support system to all help each other. So yeah, if you have any questions, leave them down below. But now this is going to be my life and my channel, not the direction that I thought, but I'm just glad that I have this to do while I can't nurse, because at least I have this to make me happy and to give me some hope for something. I don't know, because I really enjoy doing this. What was I gonna say? Gotta get some nutrition in me, man. My brain doesn't work as well right now. So next week's video, oh, what was I gonna say? Gotta get some nutrition in me, man. My brain doesn't work as well right now. So next week's video, oh, what was I gonna say? Gotta get some nutrition in me, man. My brain doesn't work as well right now. So next week's video, oh, what was I gonna say? Gotta get some nutrition in me, man. My brain doesn't work as well right now. So next week's video, oh, what was I gonna say? Gotta get some nutrition in me, man. My brain doesn't work as well right now. So next week's video, oh, what was I gonna say? Gotta get some nutrition in me, man. My brain doesn't work as well right now. So next week's video, oh, what was I gonna say? Gotta get some nutrition in me, man. My brain doesn't work as well right now. So next week's video, oh, what was I gonna say? Gotta get some nutrition in me, man. My brain doesn't work as well right now. So next week's video, oh, what was I gonna say? Gotta get some nutrition in me, man. My brain doesn't work as well right now. So next week's video, oh, what was I So next week's video will be my hospital vlog. I'll get all that edited. It's just a warning, it's a very messy vlog because I vlogged some parts, didn't vlog like all some days because it just was awful, but I just wanted to vlog it to kind of remember kind of one of my lowest points in my life, which I feel like is weird to say. But then when I'm better, I can look back and be like, hey, look how far you have come. So that will be up next Saturday once I get around to editing that. And I think that's all I have to say for now. So thank you so much for watching and for listening. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, anything. You don't have to do any of it. You can do all of it, whatever floats your boat. I just appreciate you if you're here and you're listening. That's all. I was gonna say, I hope you enjoy the video, which is what I say and all. I feel like that's still okay to say, but also kind of weird to say at the same time. But anyways, I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.